Hi, this is Miss Sarah, and welcome to our first week of Tech Kids. Today, we are going to be talking about robots and automatons. And before we get started, I would like you to have something to write your thoughts down on because we are going to be having a live follow-up session talking about what we learned and what we thought about the topic on Thursday. So I hope to see you all there, and I hope we all learn together today. So hopefully we all have a good time with this. So let's get started. So first I'm presenting you with some images. What do all of these have in common? They might all look a little bit different. Some of them look a lot more human than others, and some of them look a little bit older than others, and a lot of them are doing different things. I see one playing ping pong. I see one playing the trumpet. I see one that looks like a knight. I see one that just looks like a whole mess of gears and machinery. Doesn't really look like much like a human. All of these, as you might have guessed, are robots. One of them, the one that looks like a knight, the third from the top left, is an automaton, which is a type of robot. All of them share one thing in common. All of them, like I said, are robots, and one is an automaton. They all have different actions they can carry out, and they're all useful for different things. They all do different types of things. And the reason they exist is to do that thing. That's why robots exist. So for a first reflection, I would like for you to think about the following. If you made a robot, what would you want its function to be? Basically, what would you want it to be able to do and why? I would love to hear your thoughts later on in our live session, so please make sure to write down your thoughts. If I made a robot, I'll go ahead and share what my thoughts are. If I made a robot, um, I think I would want a robot to do work around the house for me so that I wouldn't have to do any of my chores. Uh, don't you guys think maybe that would be a useful way for a robot to function? And there are already robots that do that. Like the Roomba can vacuum your floor. You never even have to touch the floor. It just does it for you. So, moving on, how long do you think that robots have existed? So, you might think that robots are fairly recent, right? Because they need all kinds of technology to work. They need all kinds of electric power and machinery to work. So they must be new, right? Well, if you thought that, then you actually are incorrect. Robots have existed in some form or another for thousands and thousands of years. And the old robots that existed before electricity or any new AI technology or anything are called automatons. The robot I have on screen is actually one of the oldest robots in the world, made by the ancient Greeks. Its function is to pour out wine. This graph might look a little confusing, but we can go over it a bit. So basically, when you put a cup in the robot's hands, it can sense that you put the cup there, and it will pour out wine and then water. So you don't have to, so if you're at a party and people are having something to drink, water, wine, juice, whatever you put in it, nobody has to be doing that. You just let the robot do the work for you. Pretty ingenious. So that also leads me into robots versus automatons. On the left these three are automatons, and on the right, these are robots. So you might be wondering, what is the difference? First of all, they look a lot different, don't they? The ones on the left definitely don't look the same as the ones on the right. But let me explain a bit about how they are actually different. So an automaton is a machine that's built to carry out a specific set of functions or rules, and they are mechanical, but not electrical. They only use gears and cogs and things like that to work. And automatons also don't have any kind of artificial intelligence, so they can't really learn anything. They can only do the one thing they were built to do. But robots are robots have AI, artificial intelligence, so they can be programmed to learn much more similar to how we as humans can learn. And robots are also meant to replace certain human functions so that we don't have to do them. So if you have a robot that can clean your house, you don't have to do that anymore. So that is the difference between a robot and an automaton. Think of it, the automaton as the grandfather of the robot. So here I have a link for you to follow to watch a video by Ovation on YouTube about automatons. And in this video, they show several different automatons and explain how they were used and how they are used now. They're seen a bit more as art pieces these days than they are functional. So go ahead and check out that video, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it in our live session. So, these look just like normal drawings, right? Well, would you believe that these drawings were created by an automaton, not by a human hand? That's right. The Maillardet writing automaton was an automaton that was capable of producing drawings and poems both in English and French. And this automaton uses pretty much only gears and cogs to work. So the graph I have presented here shows a bit of the inside of this automaton. So basically, the hands are led by motors, and those hands are guided by those motors, which are moved by gears. This graph explains more in depth if you would like to pause and take a look at what specifically it says. Some of the words are quite big, so I don't blame you if you don't. But basically, it only uses gears and cogs and brass discs to work. In order to better explain without using too big or fancy words, there's a video for you to watch of this automaton working in action. So I invite you to go ahead and watch this video and just take a look at how smoothly this automaton moves. It almost looks human. It's uncanny, isn't it? So I would love to hear your thoughts on this automaton when we meet live. Now that we've talked a bit about automatons, let's do a bit of a reflection and a bit of quote-unquote homework. So take a look at some of the automaton videos available at the Morris Museum's website. The Morris Museum has many automatons. Some of them are musical automatons, and some of them are not. So take a look at some of those videos and just watch some more automatons in action. So which of the automatons that you watched is your favorite, and why? Bring your thoughts to our live session, as always. moving on to a couple of full-blown robots. First, I would like to talk a bit about Honda Asimo with you. Maybe you've seen this robot, he's kind of famous. So here's the evolution of this robot. So Honda Asimo started as just a mechanical pair of legs. The robot was originally created to see if a robot could be created that realistically portrayed how humans walk. And it took many, many tries, as you can see, to get Honda Asimo where it is now. And originally, this robot was very big and intimidating, so you can see they shrunk him down so he's a little less intimidating and scary than he might have been before. And Honda Asimo is capable of doing many things. He can play soccer, he can serve drinks, he can wave at you, he can say hello and goodbye, and he can use cameras in his eyes to recognize who you are and where you are. So he is capable of doing many, many things. And to better demonstrate this, I have a video that I would like for you to watch from AutoExpress. I would like for you to watch this video and take a look at all the things that Honda Asimo can do, and just share your thoughts with me later on, because this is very, he's capable of doing many different things, and he's pretty cute too. Now let's talk about one more robot. This robot's called Atlas. Now maybe he's not quite as cute as Honda Asimo, but he can arguably do more things than Honda Asimo can do. So to demonstrate this, I have a video for you to watch of Atlas. So Atlas is able to not only move around, he can run, he can walk, he can sense where the ground is, so if he's pushed over, he can get back up. He's capable of doing parkour. He could do flips, he could do cartwheels, he can jump really high up in the air, and this video is really the best way for you to be able to see just how acrobatic this robot is. I think he's a little more acrobatic maybe than some people are. I know I definitely can't do a flip. I can't do some of the flips that he can do. I don't know about you. Maybe you can. So that brings us to one more reflection. So do you think that robots could be useful in the future? And how could robots be useful? Write down a few ideas and feel free to share them in our live session. I would love to hear what your thoughts about this entire subject are. Personally, I think that robots could definitely be useful for many different things, since they're created to replace a job that maybe we don't want to do. Certainly in that way, they could definitely be useful. They could also be useful for maybe exploring areas that humans can't go to, or helping out in the medical environment where maybe people can't go because it's dangerous. So robots could be useful for that reason. But I'm excited to see where robotics go in the future. So I'd love to hear what you think. And now for a little bit of fun homework. I would like for you to chat with a real AI program. So talk to Elbot the robot at the link I provided for 10 or so minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and reflect on the experience. So what was it like to talk to an AI? Does it feel like talking to a real person, or can you tell that he's not real? How realistic is he? Did you learn anything from your interaction with Elbot? Elbot is an educational robot, so he can teach you things. So, for example, when I talked to Elbot, I responded to him at one point by saying, "Oh, okay." And Elbot told me that O comes from the medieval period. I didn't even know that. So tell me in our live session what you learned from Elbot, and if anything about your interaction surprised you. And lastly, how pleasant was your conversation with Elbot? Was he nice to you? Was he rude or mean to you? Um, Hopefully he'll be nice to you, but maybe he could get a bit of an attitude. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how you thought he treated you. And like I said, bring your quote unquote homework and reflections to our live session on Zoom the next time we meet. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love to talk more about these robots and get a conversation started about all this. So I am looking forward to meeting you next time live on Thursday on Zoom. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will see all of you guys then. Bye.